pit stall just yesterday, but now he's got to remember, nope, I'm not a windward driver, I'm a quarter-off driver.
That's yes, that must be tricky to just adjust your thinking. I think it's a little bit of a competitive advantage to do the Michelin Pilot race on the Friday, or just to race a Michelin Pilot Challenge full stop, because in terms of being battle sharp, I think it does give you a slight edge if you've competed in that race the day before. And it needn't just be in Daytona. I mean, if you're racing around the whole season and you've got to drive in Pilot Challenge as well as in WeatherTech, I think you've got a little bit of an edge.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think there's also a reason that the new GTDX class in the VP Racing Sports Car Challenge Series is starting to take off the way that it is. As Robbie Foley, as we talked about, the snake in the grass, question mark, puts the move there around the outside of Pipo Derani. Couldn't get the move made into turn number 1. But many of the guys, back to that previous point, in GTDX, in VP Challenge, they raced last weekend as the fireworks go off here at Daytona. Forgot about that.
Yeah, well, we had fireworks about half an hour ago with that restart, and now we've got fireworks that, are up in the sky, and we've got them under green flag racing. Sometimes we have them under full course yellow, not by design. No, don't stop it, conspiracy theorists. But yeah, this is one of the special things about the Rolex 24 at Daytona. Imagine that, you're in the car and you're trying to hold somebody off. You're trying to defend your position, and then boom, crackle, snap, crackle, pop. Go the fireworks.
A few drivers have told me over the years they like to be warned that it's about to happen so it doesn't take them unawares. But third time's the charm.
Because he's in the pit lane and he's got a couple of customers who've just popped in, and pretty much right in front of us, Joe. You've already made your way down to look at the caught-off AMG Mercedes.
Yes, just stepping out onto the pit apron, the fueling's going on. You saw the start of that pit stop, mate, and did you see any tyres going on? Because I'm not sure that there is any tyres that have gone on there.
I'd agree with that.
That's a fuel-only stop. That is a fuel-only stop.
I'd agree with that. Seth Lucas brought it in for caught-off competition motorsport. I didn't see any tyres, and I didn't see any on the wall as well. 1:30, we'll take a VP Racing in-race update after that shuffle around. And we'll start in GTD, where Elliott Skier for Wright Motorsport leads for Porsche by just 3/4 of a second. That green car with the yellow stripe has been right at the sharp end all the way through. Started on pole position. Chetelaar Racing in the blue, number 47. Ferrari in second place. That's Antonio Fuoco in second. Then just under 3 seconds further back, and how much of that fuel you use and how you use it. And that basically has a, all right, I'm going to sound like an engineer if I'm not careful. There are several factors that affect that. The difference, of course, with the GTD Pros and the GTDs is that they don't have any energy recuperation as you would have in the GTP cars with the hybrids.
Yes. So here's the point was, I asked him to explain this, and the moment he gave me the answer, I realised why I'm a commercial director, and that they don't let me near the business end of the pit box.
Well, we study, Johnny and Peter Mackay as well, are inveterate studiers of regulations. I spend enough time on planes that I've watched all the movies, so I tend to print out regulations in airline lounges and take a sheaf of paper, about a ream of paper, onto the plane and start flicking through it. And it is not for the faint-hearted, JP, is it? In this new breed of endurance racing, where we are trying to balance performance of exceptionally different philosophies of sports cars, particularly the GT cars.
Yeah, I mean, it's about energy consumption, but that might be per lap, it might be per stint, it might be how much you're burning through as a rate or as a total volume. And it's not just reading the regulations and go, okay, I understand it now. You need, from an engineering point of view, to know them absolutely back to front, so that if the race flips all of a sudden, you know what to do. One final thing I wanted to say at the end of this sentence is we've got our 8th retirement, I'm afraid to say, because the 5 Porsche 963 of Nico Pino is now out of the race. That was the one with the collapsed suspension on the Mustang sampling car.
Johnny Palmer, and we're joined by Declan Brennan as well, the commercial director of Gradient Racing, with their number 66 Ford Mustang GT. 12 hours and 10 minutes still to go here at Daytona. So on the high banks, the 70 Inception Ferrari still leading. Fred Scharndorf with a scant half a minute. I bet he wishes he had half a second on Chan Guven in second. 6 seconds further back, BMW. And then 18 seconds further back is the first of the Corvettes, Marvin Kirchhofer, in the number 13 car. Do a full update once we get back with our colleagues from Peacock. They're just on a break at the moment. This has been an enthralling race. We've had a few interruptions from our various safety cars, and now had 7 full course yellows. Safety car involvement. So Dex, just very quickly, before we come back with Peacock, are you genuinely able to compete now, or is this as much of a test session as anything else?
Oh, absolutely. We are 2.5 laps down. Granted, we are out of sequence, and when Tatiana next comes in, we will effectively be 3+ laps down.
Yeah. So you're still racing, is what you're saying?
Absolutely. You won't remember this, but 2023 we were 5 laps down.
Yeah.
We finished 4th, and we got like 3 of those laps back in the last 2.5 hours. There was and so
if you get multiple safety cars, you can use those
absolutely
to your advantage. Declan Brennan with us here from. Can we run through the retirement?
Porsche from Porsche.
Indeed.
Violation with car 43. Went through.
There was flames coming out the Chan Guven coming from way back and down the inside, and finally getting that. That's been going on for half an hour, 40 minutes, and finally gets it done. And Scharndorf maybe realising that he didn't have to fight so much because he's come straight into the pit lane, so he was at the end of his energy allowance as he came into the pit lane. And a full course yellow is out. Full course yellow is out. Now we have a car on fire at the far side of the circuit, and that has scrambled everything at the moment, and it's just coming out of Speedway Turn 2. That is the number 36 car that is on fire. Johnny Palmer, John Hindorf here watching this, and that is a major incident coming out of Speedway Turn number 2.
Doesn't look great at all from where we're positioned, and it's very difficult in the darkness to work out which car that is.
36 car, JP.
36, okay, thank you.
Sorry.
So it has stopped out on the far side.
That's Charlie Eastwood behind the wheel of the DXT.
But that was the second time he's
at the complete. I rise from my chair in the Ford Performance Global Broadcast Centre so we can watch them in real time as well as on the screens. Back to green flag, and it's a really quick start by the leader and the Acura of Colin Brown. Well, we know he's a quick starter. He's been very quick through the traffic as well. That was a good turnaround by the number 60 MSR crew to get him back out at the lead of the race, from Kevin Magnussen in second, Matt Campbell in third, Will Stevens in fourth, Nick Tandy in fifth. Get the popcorn out and lean forward, because those are 5 drivers who do not like to be anywhere else other than right in front. And already it is the Nick Tandy driven Porsche right alongside Will Stevens. That number 7 car, got to get used to Tandy in the number 7 with the black stripes on the front end of the car and the black swoosh on the side in the sort of after dark colours, the Salzburg colours, but the after dark version with these stripes.
Big penalty coming in LMP2. Class leader, the 43, Tom Dillman. That's Inter Europe.
Heading into the kink as the leaders come into the international horseshoe. Great to see some hardy spectators at 4 o'clock in the morning, still on the bleachers there, wrapped up against the cold. Track temperature has dropped a tiny bit, but not much. It's still holding at around 48 Fahrenheit. 46 Fahrenheit in the air, that's 8 Celsius in the air, 9 Celsius on the track. The threat of close to freezing track temperatures and air temperatures hasn't materialised as yet. We're about 3 hours away from official sunrise and the end of over 13 hours of darkness, and still these two young but experienced race car drivers. This chat the other day about people saying that sports car racing is where you go after you finish your career. Well, Mathieu Jaminet, Tom Blomqvist, Lawrence Vanto would probably disagree with you. Plenty of young drivers in the sport, and if they're attached to a manufacturer, you can make a good living out of it. Cross the line again, that's closer, I think, down to 0.3 of a second. This is close as the Acura has been to the back of the Porsche for a couple of laps now. 30-second deficit to overcome. Rennie Ras has fought back to just 2 laps away from the GTP lead in the earlier delayed number 25 BMW M Hybrid V8. LMP2 swapping and changing at pit stops. For the moment, it's Toby Sowry for CrowdStrike Racing, who is on top of the LMP2 times. Seb Bourdais 6.5 seconds back in second for Tower. Era Motorsports, Paul Shatner just installed in that car, is 11 seconds further back, and he's 7-8 seconds ahead of Rasmus Lind in fourth for United Autosports. Fifth in the Riley number 74, just had that nose change, Felipe Fraga. Johnny Edgar for AO Racing, the 99 Spike car, is in sixth. Lauren Heinrich is an AO Racing driver as well. He's in Rexy. He's got about a 7-second lead in that number 77 car, ahead of Kelvin von der Linde for Paul Miller Racing in the number 1 BMW. Then it's the Ford Mustang GT3. Nicky Katzberg and Alexander Sims ahead of Fabian Schiller for Get Speed. Haven't called those guys for a while. And Phil Ellis leads in GTD. Adam Adelson and Lars Kern having a scrap for second in the Wright Porsche and the AWA Chevrolet Corvette. It seems sort of wrong to see Lars in anything that isn't from Weissach, to be honest. He's their Nürburgring Nordschleife specialist, particularly for the road car lap records, and he's closing in on a car that he will know very well indeed.
He does, yeah, although he's been with AWA for quite some time now. I think he was then with them when they're doing LMP3 a couple of years ago, then stayed on with them as they switched to Corvette GTD. So he's become a member of that family. But I do agree, it's always a bit... It's funny when you see drivers driving things that you wouldn't necessarily expect them to. I think another example is in that very same car with Marvin Gerkhofer, who we all know from McLaren, is in that car. On the topic of GTD, the car in front of this is as I just had a very lovely nap on the couch. The 57 in the lead is slightly amazing to me, but also I think the perfect ethos of never give up, because that car was in the garage with a broken throttle pedal when we were up here earlier.
Lost three laps, I think, 3 or 4 laps, and has come back. Phil Ellis, of course, knows how to drive these cars. He's a Nürburgring Nordschleife specialist as well. He's broadened his horizon.
Had an amazing 2024, Philip Ellis.
Sorry?
Philip Ellis had an amazing 2024.
Oh,
won just about everything.
Yeah. Yeah, if he put his 50 pence into a raffle, he would have won that. There's the change down the inside.